people go, oh, hey, I know them.
Yeah. Well, you want to be memorable, man, because when you're advertising, that's all you're doing. You know, you're getting in front of people and you want it to be like, they may not need you right then and there, but you want later on when they do need you that they remember you. So once you set up a system to make a company, you standardize it to where you don't have to be there, put all of your money into real estate, then you can just start, you can retire, you know, that's the goal.
This is the Clark Connection Podcast, your weekly dose of inspiration and power. We'll dive deep into the stories and strategies that ignite personal growth and entrepreneurial fire. Join us as we empower you to take control, level up your leadership, and build the life you deserve. Get ready to rise, to thrive, and to finally become the leader of your own destiny. Let's go.
Welcome to the Clark Connection Podcast, where we explore leadership, personal growth, and entrepreneurship through real stories and practical insight to help you grow from where you are to where you want to be. I'm your host, Aaron Clark, aka The Coach. And today's guest is someone who embodies what it means to lead with purpose and build with intention. Kase Dupont, founder of Gecko, has not only built a thriving roofing company, but also a standout brand rooted in culture, excellence, and community impact. In our conversation, Kase shares how to rise above a crowded market through smart branding, strong company culture, and intentional hiring. We dive into communication standards, the power of AI in business, and his heart to giving back to the community. Now, before we jump in, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our wonderful sponsors. And the first one we're going to start off with is Vicki Hubbard, with Hubbard Flooring Studio, our premier sponsor. Leadership always starts with a strong foundation, and so does your home or office. Vicki and her team don't just cover floors. They help you step into excellence one plank, tile, or carpet at a time. And now, Hubbard Flooring Studio also offers Hunter Douglas blinds, giving you the ability to set the tone, control the light, and create the perfect environment to lead from. Visit them at their physical location in Baton Rouge, or call them at 225-924-1582. And if you go on and browse their website, hubbardflooringstudio.com, they are offering through the end of December of 2025, 10% off of their rugs and 24-month 0% interest. And if you mention me, so tell them that the coach sends you, she's going to give you an additional 10% off of that rug, and she's going to give you a free bottle of cleaner. That's Hubbard Flooring Studio, where strong foundations and bright visions begin. Thanks to Wayne with 7K medals for silver and gold. Just like strong leadership, building wealth takes strategy and vision, and Wayne helps you craft a foundation that shines. Shout out to Bobby with the Comfy Quest LLC for all your craniosacral therapy needs. She helps you to realign, recharge, and create the mental and physical space to lead your life with balance and clarity. I appreciate Andrew with Automate Integrate Professional Services, making your business run smarter, smoother, and more efficient, giving you the freedom to focus on what matters the most. Big thanks to Joseph with Landscape King, transforming yards into beautiful, inspiring spaces that set the stage for creativity, growth, and leadership in every season. And a special thank you to Chris and Jess with C&J Embroidery, bringing your brand to life with custom designs that leave a lasting impression wherever you lead. And thanks so much believing in me and what we're doing here to help us continue bringing powerful conversations like the one we're going to have with Kase today. And if you're looking to join that team of sponsorships, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out on social, via my website, email me. All of that information is listed below in the contact area. Or if you have questions about leadership or maybe being an entrepreneur, personal growth, they fill out that form below and ask me those questions, and we will answer your questions live on Ask the Coach episodes. Now, quick introduction to my friend Kase Dupont. Now, like I said, he is the founder and CEO of Gecko. Been doing this for 6 years now. He's a third generation entrepreneur. He talks about his grandfather starting that off. His first entrepreneur endeavor started at 17 years old. He's a real estate investor, graduate of Bethany College, nonprofit founder for Project 127, and he's a co-founder for the Christian Businessmen of Baton Rouge. And so, look, this is a conversation full of practical wisdom and leadership lessons every entrepreneur can apply. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or just starting out, there is something to learn from Kase. So grab something to write with and let's dive in. And Kase, welcome to the show.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, man, it is great. Any better than I'd be twins, and then I could not stand myself.
Always with the dad jokes, huh?
Always with the dad. I mean, you got to bring some energy. You got to make people laugh. That's why we're here, right?
Oh, yeah, you got to, man. It's the best medicine.
Well, I used to tell people they kept me around because I was pretty, but I've been told that's not the case anymore, so I got to be funny.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
So I'm going to reconsider my life right now.
Yeah.
Golly.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I just got done telling everybody a laundry list of all the stuff that describes Kase, but I know right now that Gecko is kind of the main thing. Tell us a little bit more about that. How'd you get into that? And what is Gecko?
Well, man, we're a roofing company. We specialize in residential roofing, and I mean, man, there's a ton of roofing companies, but we try and differentiate ourselves. That's one of the hardest things, man, in an industry where it's like super saturated, to be able to be different, stand out. But I feel like we've done an okay job. We tried, at least.
So how do you, because that's a good point, to be different. And I mean, I feel like I must have drove just on the way home today, like at least 8 different roofing companies. How do you make yourself stand out?
Man, that's one of the biggest things. Like, we actually went through an entire rebrand. Like, we're about to make 6 years, but we started off with a whole different name, completely different. So it was starting off, the name is like one of the most important things, but like branding is like everything, man. Like, if you don't have a brand, and your marketing is going to be way more expensive. It's that's where it starts, is really with your brand. And then from there, I mean, you just keep going. It's marketing and all kinds of other stuff, but I think that's the key component right there.
Yeah, I know. That's one I definitely agree with. Branding, you got to make it like so like people go, oh, hey, I know them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you want to be memorable, man, because when you're advertising, that's all you're doing. You're getting in front of people, and you want it to be like, they may not need you right then and there, but you want later on, when they do need you, that they remember you. And if you have the most unrememberable name, or if your name is like almost the exact same as 100 other people, and you have the same colors and the same design and look, how are you're gonna have to spend that much more money to be able to make them remember you. Whereas if you just have that brand down up front, and you spend the money up front, then your ad dollars just go 4, 5, 10x what they could have gone. So that was something we learned from reading books and going to conferences, and we didn't know that either. Obviously, we operated for like 4 years under a name that was very similar to everybody else. So yeah.
What was the old name?
So we were SOCO. So SOCO stood for Southern Company. Nobody knew that. That's part of bad branding, is like, if no one knows what your name means, then it's like you're the only one that knows what it means. It's kind of like, well, maybe you need a new name. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun, man. Spelling that SOCO, I got really good at doing it, because nobody would know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Is that like Southern Colorado? What is okay? All right.
Definitely, man. Oh yeah. But
And
it was
so,
all, yeah.
so what is it that then got you to go with like Roof Gecko? Where did that come from? How did you get there?
Dude, so we actually we were at a conference when all of it kind of like happened about 2 years ago, and they had a guy up there that was doing a speech on marketing, and he kind of just laid out like what I was just talking about, like how do you stand out, how do you differentiate yourself for your marketing, and a lot of people in the room had the same exact brand. And he was like, why don't you change it? You know, be different, stand out. Uh, and I got a book by Dan Antonelli. It's called Branded, Not Blanded. And I read the book, went through it. We hired them. It was very expensive. But they were like, hey, we'll come up with a name if you don't have one for an extra god awful amount of money. And I was like, well, I'm kind of creative. Maybe I can figure it out. And so they were nice enough to give me their trademark attorney to use. And I spent like 6 months, man. Like I could show you a list of all the names I came up with that were names that we could use. None of them could be trademarked. So we finally found this one. A guy had trademarked it already in Philly. And I actually found the guy, got his information, and bought it from him for like $2,000. Because there was no other names to find. But yeah, and it wasn't even Roof Gecko. It was like Gecko Electric. But the way trademarking is, you can't use it if it's even related to construction. So I bought that from him, and then we were able to use Roof Gecko then.
Hold on. So if I were to so I couldn't start up Gecko Plumbing.
You cannot. So the way that trademarking works is like they have one descriptor word and then one like main word. So the word roof is not trademarked. It's just Gecko in the industry of construction. So nobody can use the word Gecko on anything related to construction material, a company, a plumbing, like anything related to that or close to it. And that took us like over a year and a lot of money to get trademarked. But the goal was so that we could move like into other markets and be able to open up, and we know nobody's going to be able to rip us off or do a name that's similar so that they could buy our AdWords and stuff online. So yeah, that was on part of that.
No, that's interesting. I did not know that. So
Yeah.
so I could start up Gecko Coaching. But
If it's not in the construction realm, then yeah, you could definitely do that. And if not, it literally goes through court. So like you have to send a cease and desist. So if you feel like that they're doing something close to what you do, you bring it to court, and it's like they'll get a cease and desist, take down everything, get fined. It's like a whole thing. It's just protection for your brand. That way, if you spend all this money on a brand, somebody can't just kind of like mimic it, and then ride off your ad dollars. But yeah, so. And we went all in, bro. We got Gecko skin, everything, man. Our trucks are loud. We, when we come to the parts supply and we park, there may be like 15 other white trucks sitting there. And I always make the joke with my kids, man. I will go out to the parking lot and I'll be pressing the horn on my truck and I'll be like, man, where is it? You guys see it? It's like bright orange.
yeah.
But, they hate me when I pull through the carpool line with it.
Hey, that is your right. That is your privilege to embarrass your children.
It is, man. It's a rite of passage. My dad did it. He had an RV dealership, and he would pick us up in a carpool line at a private school in like a Class A mobile home, like a 30-something foot mobile home. And he would, instead of parking it, he would drive it through the carpool line. Like he'd be running over the cones and stuff. Like the door would swing open and the little stair would come down, and we would get in the side of it. It was so embarrassing. It was, yeah. But now it's my rite of passage. I pull up and do the same thing. Yeah.
That is hysterical.
I know, man. Yeah. That's the benefit and the downside of being a third generation entrepreneur, bro. It's come by naturally.
Yeah. And I love the colors. Like I love the that was one that I always loved. While my son races, and he used to wear a bunch of bright colors, bright yellow, bright green, bright orange. And so I love that. The first time I ever saw him, I was like,
yeah,
that's a way to stand out.
I know, man. I know. Yeah, people love it, man. We Yeah, it's been fun. Everybody, it's crazy how the team responds too. Like it's almost like it just, if people feel more like connected to the company and the brand because of what it is. Like we've got bracelets and everything else you can imagine that's all tied into the brand. People love it. Like people buy their shoes with the colors green, like they get their phone cases. Like people, I was surprised like how much people jumped on board, and it made them really, I don't know, just feel like it's they're part of it. So it's helped with culture too and marketing, a lot of stuff, even just recruitment, like people want to be a part of it, more so because it's more of like an established in their mind, just because the branding is, where it's at. So it's been a multi-level, like as far as impact I've seen.
Yeah. And that is cool. Cause I didn't even think about that, your crew going out and all right, I want to make sure, cause I mean, I know y'all got the bright green shirt. So getting the bright green shoes or the bright orange shoes or something to wear with their uniform like that. That is pretty cool buying into the culture like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, that's definitely a part of it, man. And like you talking about culture, it's definitely like that's one huge lesson that I learned on in like early on is like when I first started, I really didn't like know what culture was. Uh, I never worked for anybody or any place really. So like I didn't know how toxic culture could be. And I didn't know like, a lot of stuff. So like when we had a big growth phase and I brought on like 20 sales guys. I had like 6 or 7 like people in the office. And we like expanded really quickly. And I wasn't looking for culture. Like I was just kind of looking for people. And and that was one of the biggest mistakes, man. Like I almost lost my whole company. Like we had a few bad actors come in and just different, people that like, I realized that like one person could come in and shift the entire culture. Like you could have a decent culture and then one guy can come in and just like demolish it. And once he does that, it's not really something you can go back and like overturn and be like, okay, now like once it's open, it's like, oh, like it's harder to go back on. And so that's why it's so important, man, to like set the culture of what you want and then hire and fire based on that culture. And once you get it going, man, it's really cool how it works because like your team will become the culture that you set. And when the wrong culture comes in, they'll literally push them out like a virus. They'll be like, this guy don't fit here. And they'll like push them out of the company. You don't even have to do it. It's like, it's so cool. People told me about it and I was like, man, I don't know about that. But then we did it. And I was like, dude, it's fun, man. But that was one big lesson I learned was that culture. That guy that was the bad actor like that, he was the best salesman I've ever had. Sold more sales than any other dude, and it hurt when we lost him. But not for the culture. And sometimes, dude, that's your best A player might be the guy that you got to let go because the culture like will shoot up right after that.
Hmm.
But that's the hard thing, man. People are like, oh well, they bring in a lot of sales, or they don't want to make that hard choice of finding a new one. Just do it. If somebody's watching this and that guy is the guy you're talking about, just get off of here and go fire him.
Yeah. Oh, I know that one that got me on that was, I follow a lot of Gary V on, social media. And that's one that he always talks about. He's like, I'm not very good at hiring people, but I am a proficient firer.
I do not like firing people. That's
Oh,
one of the things I can't wait to delegate all of that. I don't like doing it, but yeah, I've gotten good at. I've probably fired dude like 50 people in the last like 6 years. It's insane.
yeah, it is. But I was about to say, whenever you're saying though, the culture though, you're so right. You gotta do whatever it takes to protect that. But how do you go about then hiring the right people for your culture? Like, what does that process look like?
Well, if you're lucky enough, like where like to have a leadership team that can kind of help with that, uh, what we did, and we had some people that were like A players that we started with for the leadership team. And we took all them and basically like, if you have somebody on your team that you're like, hey, if I could take this person and duplicate them 100 times, I would be unstoppable. like just exactly like they are. And then you kind of like break down like some of the characteristics that person may have that makes them an A player. Whether it's like humility or, common sense or whatever it is that you feel like is like the thing that is their secret sauce. But then you kind of just like build out what is the framework of what we want to have. And what we did was an exercise where we kind of like listed out all these different traits and attributes and stuff. And then we sort of narrowed them down. Like, we had this method of keep, kill, or combine. So like we would keep some of them, combine some of them, get rid of some of them. And we ended up with a really nice acronym. And we set those core values of like, 5 core values or 4 core values. It really means something. And then we use what's called a people analyzer. So we hit each person with it before we hire them. They either do it all the time, they do it some of the time, or they don't do it at all. And kind of rank them on each one of your core values. And you have a passing score, like above bar and below bar. And this is all stuff I learned from reading the book Traction. And it's a phenomenal book, but it teaches out like people analyzer, how to set culture and how to, it said the way they talk about it is they say to get the right people on the bus so that you can go where you need to go, and get the wrong people off, and get the right people on the bus in the right seats, which is a whole nother level of it. Utilizing your people for their strengths and not, yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense, that looking to see, all right, who are my key people, making sure, all right, if it's Johnny, I want to make sure that I bring more whatever qualities they bring in, and looking for it. And I mean, and so with most interviews, I know they're typically not like a 3-week process or like 4-month or whatever. It's usually like 2 or 3 at best contacts. How do you go about that, pinpointing that within those brief moments that you meet them? I mean, most are never more than an hour.
Yeah, no. So like one of the most expensive things you're going to do is like hire someone. Like in your process of that person's like that's one of the most expensive things, is finding them and getting them on board. So you got to spend that time, because it's so much harder to let somebody go. It messes their life up too, because they got to come find somewhere else where they fit in. And if they wasn't there and you failed to notice that, you're wasting their time. So like it's a lot of things, but like, you have that initial, phone screen with them. We do a video where they have to send that video in. We do an in-person interview. Then we do like a leadership team where another person will get to meet with them. And then we'll do a full day where they come in and they do the job with our team. So they kind of like meet their team and do that for a day. But when you're asking questions, like our first core value is discipline. So we're not going to say, hey, tell me about a time when you had discipline in your life, and then wait for them to make up something. We're gonna say more stuff like, hey, do you have any hobbies? This and that. Okay. Hey, do you go to the gym or anything? No. What does your mornings look like? Oh, I'm not a morning person. I just get up, whenever I feel like. Oh, okay, cool. Well, what other things are you into? Oh, well, I like playing video games. Well, now I'm getting an idea that this guy does not have discipline. He sleeps in late. He stays up late. He plays video games. He doesn't have any hobbies, doesn't go to the gym. He's not a guy I want for my sales, he's not a guy that I want in my sales, Now, another guy for another position, it's okay to play video games, different stuff, but like, it's all about the questions, man. You got to ask questions. And some of the best ways is ask about a previous experience, like for them to tell you a story. This is a lot harder for people to like make something up if they're recounting something that happened instead of just, making something up. Like, what do you think about leadership? Tell me a time about when you had a leader that you disagreed with, and how did you handle that? And then they tell you a story about it instead of saying, "Oh, I love leadership. I always get," and you can kind of see, like, I don't know. It's not a, one way or another. It's kind of like if you're trying, then you're doing a lot better than most other people. And but setting those values first, set them, get them to where everybody knows them. You constantly are rewarding, hiring, and firing by those. So everybody's constantly being like, hey, this guy got an award because he was the most disciplined guy of the quarter. And, now people are seeing that. They're like, hey, this is what we get rewarded for around here. Hey, this person got a bonus because they exhibited teamwork, and this is what they did. So you just kind of like you're creating a culture based around those values. And that's what you want to see more of, and people will give you more of it, you know? So
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, if you're enjoying what you've seen and heard so far, make sure you like, subscribe, follow the Clark Connection podcast. That way we can continue to bring about great guests like my buddy Kase, week after week, and hopefully year after year after year. So make sure y'all go do that. Like, hit all the buttons.
there you go.
And so one I wanted to ask you, because I know while we were kind of catching up and talking about some stuff going on, you had mentioned one that you're looking for that you set with all of your team about communication time expectations. So, like, what do you mean by that? But then, like, how did you come about, like, hey, I'm going to create this list of expectations?
Yeah. So like one thing that they have a book by Michael Gerber, E-Myth Revisited, and that book kind of outlines like setting SOPs. Like if you got a standard in place, then everybody can follow it, and it's the standard that we got to uphold. So that kind of translates into this. That's why we put that together. Was kind of like we just write out a standard, and then that's what we go by. But the standard
now, just to help everybody real quick, what is SOP?
So standard order of operation, like standard operating procedure. So it's just a written process for this is how we do this thing. This is how this cog is made or whatever. So it's just like a simplified version of how to do something. That way everybody follows it and does it the same way. It's not like, you go to McDonald's and one guy's like, oh, well, I make the burgers with, two things of ketchup and 8 pickles. Well, no, everybody does it the exact same way. Sometimes, sometimes you get a bad burger, but that's the idea, is that you want to do it the same way all the time. And then you can have McDonald's in every corner and they can do the same stuff. And it's just a recipe. So our recipe for communication was based on, like, we have a CRM where you can tag somebody and that goes straight to them. You can email somebody. We use like something like Slack for internal communication. And there's all these different ways to communicate, and you can call somebody on the phone. And we kind of like had a framework where people would, like, somebody would send an email to somebody and they would be expecting a response, and we'd go by and they don't get one, and they would forget about it. And then come time to get the thing they needed and be like, hey man, I needed that thing. And they're like, oh, I didn't see it. It was buried in my emails. And, I was like, dude, we can't do that. That's not good communication. Or next time they're like, oh, well, that guy doesn't respond to emails. So they're going to, instead of emailing, which would have been the right way to do it, where it's a trail and we've got everything tracked, they'll go into, a phone call, and they'll call them up and be like, hey man, can you do this? And the guy's like, oh yeah, okay. And then he forgets, and then it goes about, and it's just the same. So we kind of like nailed down, like, based on like complexity of what it is. Like if it's something that's job specific, it goes into our CRM. If it's something that's like an emergency, it can, but it's job specific, it'll go in the CRM, but it also can be a text. And then just kind of like outlining that, and then setting, like, an email is a 48-hour response time. A text is a 12-hour response time within business hours. The chats is the same thing, a 24-hour response time. If you're tagged, you got to respond. Stuff like that, just kind of like outlining to, if somebody's trying to communicate something, they know how to do it, and they know what to expect to get back from the communication. So that's it pretty much in a nutshell.
Yeah. No, and that's a good one to have, because I know that's one I've never thought about setting up is, all right, if you get some sort of communication from somebody else within the industry or within our different businesses, how soon can you expect? Because I know I've got some people, like you said, if I send you an email, you should be responding within minutes. Some people,
yeah,
that are the world's worst at getting back to them, because you're like, yeah, I got 200 emails today. What do you mean get back to it that fast?
Yeah. It's hard, man. Emails are tough. They've got this really cool thing. It's called Fixer AI, and it helps a lot with that. It kind of like sorts your inbox and gets rid of the junk, shows you the stuff that's important, reminds you about things. But these days, man, you got to have something. Emails are old school, but they're still around. They're we still got to use them. But
yeah, well, because I remember when emails came out, and it was very much
gosh.
like I ain't using that. I ain't using that junk.
Yeah.
All you young hippie people trying to use emails.
I'm just gonna write a letter and send it to my grandma. Why am I
Yeah,
gonna
I was about to say, do you have anything in there for like carrier pigeon smoke signals? Like how soon to get back to?
Yeah, that's on iteration 7. That's coming out next year. Well, I'll get it to you.
Sweet. I'll be reading that. I'll be looking forward to it. I'm gonna hold my breath.
Yeah, man.
Oh, dude. Yeah, but I think you were giving me a hard time about the facts. Like, are you faxing people? I'm like, well, seriously, they still do have organizations and entities that are like, nope, we only accept it via fax.
That's what you were saying, man. I was pretty shocked. Yeah, I heard your fax machine going off earlier. I was like, man, that's.
Well, I mean, they're cutting all sorts of deals at all hours of the day, evening,
Oh yeah, man. That's all.
That's why I had to unplug the printer, because I was trying to print stuff from it and then it wouldn't print. And so I knew it was going to do it at some point while we were recording. Oh,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, man. That's something. Yeah. Technology is like insane how quickly it's been changing. That's something we had to really like buckle in on. I'm trying to figure out a way to implement AI, because it's going to be so quick that it really like changes stuff. And so one of the things we were going to try and do is like build in like AI training for our employees to kind of give them like a leg up. A lot of people don't know how to like use ChatGPT, which is like a super basic like system. It's just like a second brain to talk to. And but yeah, I was thinking that maybe we could come out with some kind of like basic training for, just to ongoing, like keep teaching them new skills with AI. Cause I mean, man, it's like the potential you can have from an employee that knows how to use AI is like untapped. It's untapped. It's wild, man.
No,
Really
I was going to say it is. And like that's anytime I go to a conference now, they're going to talk about AI. Let me see how they're using that.
Yeah.
Cause it's such an advantage that even though people are starting to use ChatGPT more often, but
Yeah.
they don't even know how to use it properly. It's still like, hey, ChatGPT, what should I order on my burger today?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, man. Yeah. Or how many, yeah. No, that's learning prompts is like a huge thing, man. And the cool thing is you can literally ask it. You could tell it to be like, hey, make me a training for my employees on how to use you. And it'll spit it out. So I mean, there's no excuses, man. It's got yeah.
Right. Well, and one that I think, since we're on it, that a lot of people don't do and why they don't get good answers on their AI is they've never introduced themselves. So guys, if you're watching and you have a Chat GPT account, you got to go introduce yourself to it. Like you got to go in and say, hey, I'm Aaron Clark. I'm the host of the Clark Connection podcast, the founder of Coach A. Clark Company. And this is the stuff I do. I also work over here as a director of admissions. I do former football. Like you go through, introduce yourself, and guys, that starts to get an idea of how you want to respond to stuff, and super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
No, definitely, man. That's I think mine knows more about me than maybe my wife, and that's sad. But
I don't know about that.
maybe not.
Maybe more than you know about yourself.
Yeah, shit. Yeah. Yeah, I'd use it all day during work, and there's a case that I might talk to it more. I don't, it's always there, yeah. But no, I love it. I love it, man.
Well, it kind of reminds me of, you remember they came out, I guess, I don't remember how long ago it was, the movie with Joaquin Phoenix, where like he ends up falling in love with like the online created, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no.
I don't know the name of the movie. I just remember it thinking, I'll never watch that. That'll never happen. But I remember having like, that's got to be happening today.
Bro, yeah. Who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah. Who knows?
But I mean, too, you like the cool stuff that like you can tell it, you can ask it, like, and I think the thing that like, especially like Gen Z, so anybody that's working with Gen Zers, they're not using Google. They're not going online where it's like, me and older, or hey, we're getting on and how to find a roofing company. Whereas they're going in and like, hey, what are the best roofing companies in Baton Rouge?
Yeah. Yeah. And, and it'll tell them Roof Gecko.
And you can't buy ads on there. You can't.
Well, you can't. They do. So they do have marketing companies they do marketing for that on how to read the algorithms so you can show up.
Oh, and a lot of it comes into the SEO and actually making sure you do that. All the
because
I'm not great for that because I don't understand other than search engine optimization for your website. I know the term. Don't ask me how to do it.
SEO, ABC,
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yep. Except it's not.
Bring in a little Michael. We'll get him to explain
it. Yeah, man.
Like, how did we get here?
Exactly, man. Roofing.
Yes. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely.
So if you can hammer a nail, you can go work for Kase. It's that easy.
Yep. Oh yeah. Okay, man.
Oh geez. And speaking of building things, I want to give a quick shout out, everyone, to our premier sponsor, Vicki Hubbard with Hubbard Flooring Studios. Vicki and her team do an excellent job at laying the foundation in your home or your office, much like we're doing here on the Clark Connection podcast, setting those foundations for leadership. Make sure you give her a holler. Tell her that Coach Clark sent you. All that information is in the description below, and she is. If you go online, she's giving 10% off all rugs right now. Just use the code they listed below. It's HBFL. And if you tell her I sent you, she's giving an extra 10% off, and you're getting a free bottle of cleaner. So Hubbard's Flooring Studio. Yeah, I was going to say she loves what we do. So she was like, hey, I'm going to throw in an extra sweet one for you. Tell them if they throw you out the 20% off. And it's coming right in the holiday time. Who don't want a new rug or floor that to show off to their family as they're coming over Thanksgiving and Christmas, right?
Heck yeah. I'm going tomorrow morning.
I'm going to tell her you'll be there.
Awesome.
If not, I'll tell her look for the guy. It'll be hard to find. You can't find his vehicles anywhere.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Yeah.
Oh man. So as we're kind of starting to wind down, I know you kind of touched on it. So one that I like to ask everybody, because, I believe that all leaders are readers. Not all readers are leaders, but leaders are learners. They're constantly growing and trying to figure out how to get to that next level. And so one that I like to ask everybody is, what's one book that you would recommend to everybody? So every leader starting out or entrepreneur, something like that. Like, what's if I said, Kase, I need you to give me a book, 1, 2, 3, go. What is that book that you recommend everybody read?
That's kind of tough, man, because they all have different pieces. I've got a few books that are really staples in the way that I do stuff. But if I had to say one, I would probably say Traction. Traction's been a huge game changer for us as a company, and it teaches so many principles in one book. But yeah, I would definitely say that one. It's Gino Wickham. Excellent book. It really lays out a framework for how to run your company, which is a lot of things people don't know,
Well, it's not anything that's taught in school. They don't teach, hey, this is how you be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's not how they set it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'd say that would probably be the biggest one, man. And there's a ton of other really good ones, but I just, as a framework, that's a really good, solid choice. Start with
Traction. All right.
The
book is Traction, not Start with Traction. The book is Traction.
Yeah. That's half of the battle, man. Just doing it, actually doing it. But, oh yeah.
And then I know you'd mentioned 2 other ones to me.
So E-Myth, if you're looking for something that's going to help you to standardize your process and get it to where that you don't have to be involved as much. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, you got to get we're more geared to like be outside of the business and work on it. And if you get stuck inside of it because you're always the guy that's the go-to guy, the information, hoarder, and nobody can do anything without you, E-Myth is kind of a way to like figure out how to like take yourself out of it to where that it can operate efficiently with you not being involved. And then you can increase the operation by doing that. So E-Myth is another aspect of that. And then Rich Dad, Poor Dad is just like a financial, like, don't get caught up in the, all the new fancy cars and this and that. Like, invest in your long-term like wealth of your family, like live below your means until put everything you got into real estate. That's one of the safest things you can do. But that book teaches that. So once you set up a system to make a company, you standardize it to where you don't have to be there, put all of your money into real estate, then you can just you can retire, that's the goal.
Right.
Enjoy your family.
One too, that you mentioned with the SOPs, the standard operating procedures. And that's one that's so vitally important because you should be able to have this so simplified that I should be able to walk into Roof Gecko and go, all right, cool. I'm working as a salesperson. What do I do?
Yeah.
And it allows you, the business owner, to not have to manage every aspect of the organization.
Yeah. It makes it easier to solve problems too, man. Like if you have your system breaks down and something happens, you can go backwards and like diagnose whatever happened. And then once you find it, you could be like, okay, let's take this part right here and just pull it out and put this there and then see if it happens again. And then it's like all of a sudden fun. It's like, oh, cool. Well, that worked. Now we just keep rolling. We just hit the gas, and it's not the same. If you're having the same problems over and over and over again, year after year after year, it's because you don't have a system. That's why. Because if you built a system, then you'd be able to find the problem and you'd be able to eliminate it and make it better, make your employees' jobs easier, make your life easier, you not lose your hair as quick, So, yeah.
Well, at least if you lose your hair, you can wear a hat to work.
I know, exactly, man.
I can't.
Yeah. Hey, if you come work for us, you can, man. That's all.
Hey. Y'all hiring? I might take y'all off.
Shameless plug, man. Yeah.
Well, and a cool thing behind it too, you were mentioning about having those procedures, and it does, because I can just look at like wherever I'm at. If I look at my KPIs, I can just very quickly go in, and if you're working for me, I could go, all right, Kase, you're not doing this. This is where you're missing the mark. And that was one that made it so, like, because I knew when I was coaching football, soccer, or anything else, I had like, this is how we line up. This is how we play. This is that way I could look at the end result of the play and go, well, you probably took a half step here when you need to take a full step, or you took a full step, a half step.
Yeah, you're so right.
And it just makes it so easy for you, but then your people know what to expect. And that's where it's out.
Yeah, they feel comfortable that they're not going to like blow it. They got, all the resources and tools. They know exactly how to do their job, and then they can just do it on autopilot, So, yeah.
And a comfortable employee is a confident employee.
Hey, you need to put that somewhere, like on a sticker or something.
Trademarks, not to be used by anybody other than Coach A. Clark.
I need that on like a poster in my office.
I'll create one and sell it to you.
Hey, man, I'll take it. A comfortable employee is what was it?
I don't remember. You'll have to watch the show.
See, I'm fine now. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the recording back and
I think I said a confident or a comfortable employee is a confident employee.
Yeah. Yep. Amen.
I'm gonna write that down so I say stuff like that because I said that when I was coaching all the time. Like, hey, if they're comfortable, they're confident.
Yeah, that's it, man. You need to just put a period at the end of it and put it on a poster.
I will. I'm about to. It's trademarked already. Hey, what was that attorney's name? Can you give me that number?
Yeah, it's too late. I already emailed him.
Well, I do have this recorded, so I can go back and prove that I came up with the idea.
Oh man, always one step ahead. That's
Well, I mean, if you want to get down to it, how did King Solomon say it? Nothing new under the sun. Or,
yeah. You're right. Right, all vain.
yeah, let's not go that route.
Yeah.
Now, what about so maybe a book that you're currently reading or just finished reading?
So I just and I was on the bandwagon before it was a bandwagon, but Alex Hermazi's book on $100 million leads, he just put out $100 million money models, but $100 million leads was like phenomenal, man. And I'm in marketing right now. I'm like digging into it hard. That's my job at where I'm working right now. Like that's my responsibility is marketing. So it's been like huge for that book is so helpful. If you're doing marketing, I mean, I just love marketing. I love like the numbers, the psychology of it. It's just so cool. But that guy's a genius. Dude's a beast at marketing.
Oh, he's awesome. I'll never forget the first time I laid eyes on him. I said,
He's a caveman, but he knows how to sell stuff.
and then he started talking. I went,
yeah. I thought he was literally the guy from the caveman commercials at first. You know what I'm talking about?
so easy a caveman can do it.
I thought that's who it was at first. Like I'd see him on Instagram and yeah. Like, you got a new job.
With his breathe right strips on and
yeah.
it's genius. It's genius.
Yeah, he's a marketing guru, man. Yeah. But so yeah, that's something I'm reading right now, man. But yeah.
I just got that one. The 100 million money models. I just got that.
I haven't finished it. It's more of like the business side. I started on it, but I didn't finish it. I kind of got into some more, like I'm reading a book about finances right now, and that's the one I'm really like dug into and trying to learn about balance sheets, profit and loss, all that stuff, direct and indirect cost, all the fun things.
Now, what book is that?
So that's a book by Ellen Rohr. It's called Where Did the Money Go?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
that one is on my list.
Based. Yeah, it's home service based, so it's like, I mean, it would help in other areas, but it's really it's a short, simple read. It's just the basics, nitty gritty of like the financial system, how to read one, how to run your company, how to set pricing, all that. But yeah, oh yeah. But man, I'm excited. I wanted to tell you about the Project 127 is something that we just recently launched.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask. So, what's one thing that I should have asked you that maybe I didn't? That's always my last question.
Yeah,
so, that's one thing.
I'm glad you asked, man. So it's based on James 127 in the Bible. But it talks about the true religion is serving the orphans and the widows. And so the idea behind it was the foster care system. So I wanted to create something that people could like give to, and it was an actual physical, like tangible thing that people could feel like they were making a difference, and something that seems like really hopeless. And it's like, people don't want to hear about it. Like you talk about, there's 30 foster kids every month that in Baton Rouge, they go into the foster care system. These kids are getting picked up like in the middle of the night, a lot of times in really bad situations. Most of the time they just have a trash bag is all they're being brought with, like in a diaper and a trash bag. They'll put a few things in it and they drop them off at a foster parent's house. And this is like the worst day of this kid's life. And they have nothing, no belongings, no nothing. People don't like hearing about that. They're like, God, man, what do I do about that? Like, I feel so helpless. But what I wanted to do is come up with something that people could like be like, okay, I can do something. Because you can say, oh, well, give us some money. But then people are like, well, what are you doing with my money? I don't know if it's actually helping, But so what I came up with was Project 127 will basically have a bag that will be provided for each one of these kids while they're being transported. Like whenever they get picked up, the child services will be able to come in, grab one of these bags, and it'll have a blanket, based on age specific and gender specific, but a blanket, a note from Project 127 talking about like God's word and the promises he has for them, and just encouraging them on what they're doing, and just pajamas, like coloring book, just some basic, a sippy cup or whatever, a bottle, or, teenagers, different items, but built out like a system for that, and be able to provide a bag for them in that moment when they're being transported. But literally in Baton Rouge, like you can, for one of these bags, it'll be like $100, and $100 can provide a bag for a kid. You can give that easily $100 a month, and now you're solving a problem for one kid every month. And there's only 30 in Baton Rouge that monthly that this is happening. So like Roof Gecko partnered, and like every roof that we build, we donate one bag. So our goal is to basically go city to city and be able to just make a difference, like with that. And it'll expand. Project 127 isn't owned by Roof Gecko. I have 2 other partners with it, so it's something that I want to grow. But yeah, it's just something I'm excited about to see, like what God can do with it, what kind of difference it can make, because it does seem hopeless, but there's, if you can find something that people can get in with, make it make sense for people.
And that's really cool. I love hearing the different things that people are, they just involved with, and seeing the different things that people are doing around, and not just the nation, but they're specifically trying to make sure that they take care of and minister to the people of their town, because that's where we should start anyways, is here. Nah, you don't have to go to a faraway place to hit the mission field. It can just be downtown Baton Rouge.
Exactly, man. Yeah. And we try. Yeah. So that's, you got to have a purpose, man. So the biggest thing people look for is that what is the reason I'm here, and if all it is to make a bunch of money, it's not going to, you're not going to be happy, because you may end up making it, or you may spend your whole life trying to, but that's what I feel like is one of the biggest things, is like helping other people, making a difference in kids' lives, widows and orphans is like a, easy way to help. But yeah. So yeah, man, that's what we're up to.
Cool. And so, Kase, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, get in touch with you, how do they reach out?
So we haven't opened it up for like public yet. We have a nonprofit that we've started, but we're still in the early phases. So right now I'm still negotiating like terms with our distributors and trying to like facilitate all of the, with the state, coming up with a facility where they can come in and get those, and a system for how it works. But we have it. I would imagine that in the next 3 months, 6 months, it will have it to where that people can actually be a part of it. But right now it's just something where Roof Gecko is fully like sponsoring it by every roof that we build, and getting it started on the initial startup and all that stuff. But yeah, I haven't gotten that far, honestly, man. I don't know how people can be a part. We're just like, hey man, let's do something. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. So yeah.
I was just mostly mentioned like, hey, if anybody wanted to reach out to Kase, or y'all need a roof, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, definitely, man. My email is kdupont at callroofgecko.com. You can find us, search us up on Google, get straight to the office. But yeah, feel free to shoot me an email. That'd be great. I'd be happy to answer anybody's questions, or if there is something you can do, even if it's volunteering time or something. Definitely. Yeah, that would be awesome.
And all that, guys, down below, it's in the description. That way you don't have to go hustle and try to write it. It's right there for you. Well, Kase, man, I appreciate you hopping on the show and spending a little time with us. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Yeah, no, for real, man. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate what you're doing, brother. Appreciate you having me.
My pleasure, man. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, you too, brother.
What an incredible conversation with Kase Dupont. I hope you got as much value from that as I did. There were so many great takeaways, from the power of branding and company culture to the importance of hiring the right people and setting clear communication. Kase reminded us that leadership isn't just about building business. It's about building people, creating purpose, and making an impact in the community. If you want to learn more about Roof Gecko or support Project 127, check out the links in the show notes. Now, before we go, I want to give a special shout out to our premier sponsor, Hubbard Flooring Studio. Thank you so much for your continued support of the Clark Connection podcast and for bringing us these meaningful conversations to our listeners each and every single week. And guys, we're always looking for new partners to join us as sponsors of the podcast. If you want your brand highlighted in front of leaders and growth-minded listeners, reach out and let's talk. And if you'd like to just connect with me, then you can visit coachaclark.com or send me an email at aaron@coachaclark.com. I'd also love for you to follow along on social media so you never miss an episode. And as always, if today's episode inspired you, share it with a friend, leave a review, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And remember, you don't need to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So keep leading, keep growing, and keep innovating. Until next time, stay inspired and connected, and I'll see you on the next episode of Clark Connection Podcast. Thanks for listening to the Clark Connection Podcast, where my goal is to add value to you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the show. You can also connect with me via my website, coachaclark.com, or on all socials at coach_a_Clark. The links are in the description. Huge thanks to my sponsors, Wayne with 7K Metals, Bobby with the Comfy Quest LLC, Andrew with Automate Integrate Professional Services, Joseph with Landscape King, and Chris and Jess with C&J Embroidery. We look forward to bringing you more great content. See you next week.